Welcome to Montana.
I've been doing exclusively in-home therapy now for about a year. And once I was in the home, I saw so much more than I ever saw in my office. With parent-child issues, parents can be so concerned about having the child behave properly in the office, and the office setting can be so intimidating to a family that you really don't see how they interact. Once I got in this client's home, I really saw the degree of affection. I really had no idea of the quality of their relationship as it presented in the office versus what was going on at home.
Yeah, I've really learned to appreciate my family. Before we weren't, like I used to say, we weren't as close as we are now. Like, I was afraid to tell my mom stuff that would be going on in school or whatever. I realized how much my family really loves me because they wanted me. It was their choice to take me out. My counselor told me, Kim, you're going home this Tuesday. And I'm like, what?
With the PRTF program, we meet regularly with the family, and so we can better coordinate and share ideas. The process works so much more smoothly.
It's like now they're paying more attention of what I think and how I'm doing in school.
Well, the wraparound approach is so important. Number one, it's unconventional. It's different than what families are used to in typical services. We're working from families' prioritized needs, and we're really giving them the opportunity to sculpt the work that they want to see occur in their lives and reach their vision, rather than the vision of professionals or the people that may be coming into the team that say this needs to happen, this needs to happen. It's really centered on what does the family want to see occur so that they can reach the goals that they've set for themselves.
I do see a difference between high fidelity wraparound and just simply working with a child in whatever your individualized discrete role is, because I've been in those discrete roles before as just the outside therapist or just the school therapist, and you only get that one little slice of that child's life. What I love about the high fidelity wraparound is everybody comes together, everyone is on the same page, often we're all in the same meeting together, so you get the school, the youth court, the family, the neighbors, in one case actually the neighbors literally, knowing what to look for with this child, with any of these children. It's the comprehensiveness of this style is, what I'm seeing with it is you get results faster.
And I think that in doing the high fidelity wraparound, we do get away from the professional and the more clinical way of dealing with things. We do it on a basis that empowers the family and is more understandable to the family, and we're treating the whole milieu of family, friends.
The PRTF waiver provides the opportunity for therapists to work with others, a team that can really support the family, and you can start to see the treatment goals that you work so hard to achieve come true. PRTF waiver also allows for a lot of flexibility in the family determining what might be helpful to them. Families that are eligible have to be on Medicaid, so that indicates that there's some level of inability to provide extra, fun things, memberships at community clubs, or participating in, events that are either occurring on a regular basis or just once in a while. We've been able to really sit down and have the natural supports, talk with the family, and brainstorm really ideas that would work. And then we have the funding to make it happen.
Well, we tried a different program and it wasn't working for us because they would have meetings, but it was like every 3 to 4 months, and not everybody would show up, and they would tell us what we needed to do, not the tools to do it, or we weren't setting our goals, they were setting them for us. And the wraparound, we set our goals.
And I think that the difference in the approach of wraparound versus some of the approaches that we've had in the past is that when we say that it's parent and youth centered, we don't just mean that the plan and everything is about them. What we mean is that we're asking the questions of what can we do to help you to reach your goals, and it really is parent driven And sometimes I think as professionals, what we think a parent might need to reach to a certain goal, or even what goals they may want for their self or their child, are very different than what the family actually needs and wants.
I meet with the family, and so we come up with an agenda of what their needs are and what they'd like to talk about that meeting. And once everybody gets there, everybody signs in, and we celebrate successes that they've had the last week.
The one that we had before, like, we pretty much was just sitting in an office, just talking, and we didn't really get along with people. We just kind of saw them every once in a while, and here we kind of get together, like, more, and, like, we do outside of, like, the meeting stuff, like.
We work with equine therapy with the horses, and the horses don't lie. I mean, we've had arguments on our way out to our session, and we'd be all smiley walking in, and then when the horses come out, they knew something was up. So we couldn't hide our feelings. We had to show them.
Well, I get along with my grandma and sister and grandpa a lot better than I did before, because before it was like a lot of arguing and disagreements and everything. And we learned to like compromise a lot better.
As unusual as it seemed to say, well, let's go take kids to a horse show, how is that going to be helpful? It was helpful because they were able to be empowered and set an example for other people. And it has made all the difference in their ability to deal with their trauma history. And we're not talking directly about their trauma history.
Some examples of adverse childhood experiences are having a parent who's been incarcerated, or a parent with mental illness, or having experienced physical abuse or sexual abuse. Those are the types of categories of adverse childhood experiences, and there are more of those than that. The other piece that I do want to say is that many of the parents of the youth have also, in their own youths and their adulthood, experienced significant trauma and adverse experience. And the waiver works with the parents, I would say, as much as with the youth, to help the whole family come together and do what families want to do and be with each other how families would like to be with each other as much as they can.
The services have been very helpful. We've learned with our crisis plan, we had to use it a couple times, and the third time we had a crisis, we were able to solve it ourselves. We didn't have to have anybody come in and sit with us and help us. We had learned how to talk, and we stopped it before it got too far.
Work very well together, communicate anything and everything that happens with them, whether it be at school or something at my house, something at his house. You know, as soon as the incident takes place, we pretty much are on the phone to each other saying, hey, letting you know this is what happened, or, you know, he got grounded here because of this. And we're pretty good at following through at each other's house, that if something's taken from my house, it applies at his house, and vice versa. It's not this, okay, well, I'm at Dad's house, so all punishment's gone. It follow-throughs at both.
The old philosophy of being a case manager is that you did everything for the family. Now with the RAP philosophy, you're trying to teach everything. You're trying to teach the family to do everything for themselves.
We have a lot of respect for our families, and it's just made a great mix and match for us being successful with these families. I think the old model of case management is hopefully exiting out the door, and this new model of the waiver program of voice and choice, truly voice and choice, is going to be where we want to be as a state.
In traditional case management, when I was working with a family, you had 30 to 40 families. You had a treatment plan that had to be upped every 90 days. You had a certain amount of tasks you had to complete, and you really didn't get a chance to work directly with the family with the intensity that they needed to evaluate what needs they had and how their needs could be met and what could change, and to really work with a team. With case management, you have other people from your agency who become involved with the family, but there's no real team that meets on a regular basis to constantly address needs and direction and movement.
We really want to know what the family's experience is, and
find out what their strengths are and what they can do and build on that.
A lot of what I've heard from parents involved in the program is that they feel more empowered as parents and better able to handle crises that do come up in their own families. They learn how to do functional assessments, again, by the professionals on the team doing those functional assessments with them so that they can take a look at what happens when things go wrong, what happens before they go wrong, what are some of the places where they as parents can influence the course of how things will go, and what are some of the ways they can help their children learn to manage their own behaviors.
I think it's great. The thing I like the best is that there's going to be peer-to-peer support, and that's exactly what I feel like we've been working on is with Pluck and NAMI Basics, which is a national organization that has a class for parents to become advocates and informed about the mental health system. It's like giving these parents an opportunity to go one step farther in their own personal development and to support other parents who've struggled just like they have in their community. So really excited about that.
We also have hired someone who is a family member, a parent that was in our program.
I'm a lay person. I'm not a professional. I've been through what the families are going through. I'm there more as a liaison, a friend. I don't judge. I'm there to help. I'm a sounding board. I don't, really it's a discussion between friends. Possibly what they're talking about is something I've gone through that I can help them with. It's a wonderful program. I get a lot out of it also.
I mean, these have been such huge successes, things that I've been able to do that I could never have done with the system as is. And keeping families together is what we're all about. Keeping kids in the home and the community is what we're all about. And this works.
It's an amazing program. The people that work there are absolutely amazing on, what they do to help the program, help your family, the ideas, and I mean, they have your back 100% for just about anything.
But I was thinking in terms of the difference between a laser and a spotlight, that you can put the same amount of energy in, but our efforts are much more focused, much more like a laser than a floodlight. And so it illuminates things in a different kind of a way. And I think we take that effort, we focus it, and we're much more effective as a result.
With many of the families that we've had, I really don't know what we would have done without the opportunities that this provides.
It's worth it and kind of helps a lot. And it's a good experience to be able to learn how to get along with your family and everything.
The Waiver program has helped us to become a little bit more organized in our goals for our family, and helps us to realize what possibilities are there for us, especially when we're struggling and need help.